So we are going to divide 1,539 by 192. And we're going to do it without a calculator, and we're going to use long division, like what you learned in elementary school when you first learned how to divide. The reason we're doing this is because we need to use this process in order to learn how to divide polynomials. So I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 192 go into 1,539? I'm not really sure, so I've got to think, okay, this is close to 200, this is about 1,500. So how many times does 200 go into 1,500? About 7 or 8 times. So I can try 7. Once I pick the 7, I now have to take the 7 and multiply it by everything here. 7 times 2 is 14, carry the 1. 7 times 9 is 63, plus 1 is 64. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. Then I subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. 13 minus 4 is 9. 195. This doesn't work because I can never get a remainder that's bigger than this. So it means I must have to try an 8. Let's try that. So this did not work. 8 times 2 is 16, carry the 1. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 1 is 73, carry the 7. 15, oh, that looks a lot better, and I get a remainder of 3. We write our remainder as 3 over 192. So 8 with a remainder of 3 at 192. When you first learned, you wrote it as 8, remainder 3, and then eventually your teachers taught you to write your remainder over the divisor. So we are going to use the same process, and we're going to divide polynomials. Our first step is always going to be to put placeholders wherever we need them. In the dividend or divisor. Now, on the 2 examples we're going to do here, first on the front, this step isn't needed because when you go in descending order, there's no missing term. X cubed, x squared, x to the first, no x. X squared, x, and no x. So there's no missing terms there. So x cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x plus 9 divided by x squared plus 9x plus 2. My second step is to focus on the first. I'm going to call them the firsts. You'll see what I mean. And divide. Just like I said, well, how many times does 192 go into this number? And I put something up here. I'm going to focus on the first in each one and say, what's x cubed divided by x squared? That's simply x. I need to take that answer now, brings me to my third step. Multiply quotient, that's that x that I have there. This is anything that goes up here is my quotient. Quotient times divisor. X times x squared is x cubed. X times 9x is 9x squared. X times 2 is 2x. My fourth step is to subtract. Which means you're going to, what I usually do is change all of my signs to the opposite since I am subtracting. I mean, what I'm doing is I'm subtracting all of this, which means I have to distribute this minus sign. And if you just write it like this, people will forget to subtract, typically. So what I do is I use another color to show I've changed my signs. And then I add. Because I've changed my signs, I can simply use addition. I'll show you what I mean. So I don't just write minus like that. I change my signs. This is positive, so it becomes negative, negative, negative. And then I can simply add. I don't know if you can tell, I was using a red pen to do that. They cancel, I get negative 4x squared plus 1x plus 9. So my fifth step is to carry down, which is what I did when I carried down at 9, and repeat steps 2 through 4. Well, I guess it's even 2 through 5 if you have to carry that. Well, it's mostly 2 through 4. We'll just say repeat those steps. So we're just going to keep repeating until we're finished. All right? So focus on the first. Negative 4x squared divided by x squared is negative 4. Multiply quotient and divisor. Negative 4 x squared, negative 4 times 9x is negative 36x. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Subtract. Change all of my signs to the opposite since I am subtracting. Use another color to show I've changed my signs, and then add. Okay, so that negative becomes a positive. This negative becomes a positive, and this negative becomes a positive. And then add. Cancels. 37x plus 17. There's nothing else to carry down, and I can't divide 37x by x squared other than to have like an x to the negative power, and we don't want to have that. So that means I'm finished, and this is my remainder. So my remainder is 37x minus 17, plus 17, divided by x squared plus 9x plus 2. Just like we put our remainder of 3 over the 192, we put our remainder of 37x plus 17 over the x squared plus 9x plus 2. So this right here is my answer, quotient and remainder. Let's try number 3. 8x cubed plus 5x squared minus 8x plus 28. I'm not missing any terms. I don't have a placeholder to put in. 2x plus 4. Starting here, I don't miss any terms, so I don't have any placeholders. Focus on the first and divide. 8x cubed divided by 2x is 4x squared. Multiply quotient and divisor, so I get 8x cubed plus 16x squared. Subtract. Change all my signs to the opposite since I'm subtracting. Use another color, that's what I'm doing, to show that I've changed my signs, and then add. And I get negative 11x squared. It says carry down and repeat steps 2 to 4. And notice since I had 3 in my divisor, I always had to have 3 here. I only have 2 in my divisor, so I only need to have 2 things here. Focus on the first, negative 11x squared divided by 2x. Negative 11 divided by 2 is negative 5.5. X squared divided by x is x. And it tells me to multiply. So negative 5.5x times 2x is negative 11x squared. Negative 5.5x times 4 is negative 22x. Subtract, so I'm going to change all my signs to the opposite since I'm subtracting. Use another color to show I've changed my signs, and then add. This becomes plus, and this becomes plus. 14x, carry down and repeat. Focus on the first. 14x divided by 2x is 7. Multiply 14x plus 28. Subtract, changing my signs so that I can simply add. And look at that, 0. This feels good when we get 0 as our remainder. It makes us feel like we've done it right. Now, if we want to check our answer, you can check your answer by checking that the product equals the quotient times the divisor plus the remainder. Let's do this for number 2. So if you're ever wondering if it's a quiz or a test, you want to make sure you got the right answer. If I take x minus 4 and I multiply it by x squared plus 9x plus 2, and then add this remainder of 37x plus 17, I should get this. So let's see what happens. I'm going to multiply x cubed plus 9x squared plus 2x. Now I'm going to distribute the 4. Negative 4x squared, negative 36x, and negative 8. So I've done quotient times divisor, quotient times divisor, and then it says add the remainder. So 37x plus 17. X cubed plus 5x squared. So 1x, 2x, that would be 3x. And then plus 9. And look, that's what I started with. So I can have confidence that I got it right because I did the quotient times the divisor and added the remainder, and I got this as my final answer.